Welcome to the Bet Advisor podcast. Hello, so as I said, this is the Bet Advisor webinar, Bet Advisor podcast. Take it how you will, listen to it how you are, and welcome everybody. We're here to have a chat with Florin Groza today. I'm not 100% sure what we're talking about because it could be Florin Groza baseball, it could be Florin Groza NFL. Hello, Florin.
Hello, Stuart. Hello, everybody.
How are you doing?
Fine, very fine. Today we are talking. You are wondering about what we're talking. We're talking about Florin Groza NFL, not Major League Baseball.
Oh, okay, that's good because baseball's starting to wind down, isn't it?
Yeah, baseball has left 2 days for regular season. As a matter of fact, today and tomorrow, and from then on, next month will be the postseason playoffs, which will conclude the World Series. So will be a much lower amount of games, but still be a couple of games for next month also.
But you're going to be keeping busy because you've got the NFL to look at as well, don't you?
Yeah, and also the playoffs of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And in terms of enjoyment, what do you get most out of? Do you get more enjoyment out of baseball or out of the NFL?
Which I enjoy most of them.
Yeah, which do you enjoy the most?
To be honest, neither of them. I enjoy most NCAA college football.
So it's American football still, but slightly different.
American football, but I love the way those kids in college play, the dedication, the passion. It's in the NFL, it's all about the money. You know, they are making big money. They are playing for money. In college, they're playing for fame. They're playing for their friends, for their fans, for their colleges. It's a big passion. That, you can see a college game with 110,000 people up there. It's something the fun is greater in college football than in the NFL.
Yeah, 110,000 people. That's certainly enough for a match, I think.
In terms of joining one game, you can see the best show in the NCAA football.
Okay.
There is no much such a defense. There is lots playing the pure game, not so technical tactics and like the NFL.
Okay, and I know that you give out some free tips on your NFL profile because we're not able to cover the NCAA yet. I say yet because I understand there are some moves being made to add that to the system soon. But for anybody who's interested in the NCAA, you are giving away free tips on your American football service, aren't you?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
I am sending to my clients who are subscribed to my American football profile free tips in the NCAA football as private messages for now because this is the only way it works. But as soon as it will be back on platform Bet Advisor, I will be giving official tips in NCAA football too.
Well, fantastic. That's what we want.
Yeah.
So we've got a tip up here on the screen at the moment. It's Dallas Cowboys against New Orleans Saints. Is this the game you wanted to talk to us about? Because I know you were interested in talking with me today about one particular game. Is that the one?
Yes, this is a game. I released it earlier this week.
Yeah.
And this is the game I would... As a matter of fact, I locked it as soon as the last week finished. I started looking at this week schedule of games, and this is the first game which I liked, and I have a tip on it.
Okay, and so this was the one game you had your eye on as soon as the schedule came up, as soon as the last round of games ended. What was it in particular that attracted you to this one? This is sounding like a dating show, isn't it? We shouldn't be going there. We shouldn't be going down the dating show line.
I did not understand.
So I was just saying that that question sounds like what was it that attracted you to this line? It sounds like a dating show. Let's not go down the dating show. When you saw this one, what was it that made it stand out?
I watch the regular games every weekend, and I know what's happening. But this is why release is big, because it's a meeting with two offensive teams, and the normal outcome of this game cannot be rather any other than a high-scoring game.
Mm-hmm. So you're expecting a high-scoring game. Roughly, what kind of score are we looking at for today? I think.
Definitely, I'm expecting a high-scoring game. It's two of the most talented offensive teams in the leagues. Also, both of them do not have so great defense, and opposing offensive units should be able to score on each part big points today. They have a lot of talented players offensively, and I definitely expect a high-scoring game here, without any questions.
Okay, well, we did have a second tipster with us today. He's just actually listening in. We've got Paul Bradbury back. He's just come back from holiday, and he's just listening in today. He's still a bit jet lagged, I think, a little bit. So he's actually got a question. He says the line has actually moved. It's now over 53.5, whereas you had it originally at over 52. Should a punter still take that? So is it still a good bet at over 53.5?
The original line when it came, it was at 53. This was the number which came Sunday night. I adjusted the limit and made it an over 52 tip because it was available 2 days ago.
Okay.
But since then, the over 52 option it's disappeared, and now you can find it for betting at Pinnacle Sports just over 53. This is the only way you can bet an over 53. And I think it's definitely still a good option to bet this number. This was the original number. I tried as a matter of giving more and more chances to get a better line than over 52.
Okay.
There's be no problem with over 53 points.
And what kind of odds do you want for the over 53.5? If you're going to go for that, what kind of odds would you accept?
The current odd is 198 for over 53. And
okay.
I will still bet it. It would be around 185, something like that.
So you go down to 185 and accept that as
okay. No lower than 185.
Okay, cool. And are there any other big games coming up today? Because obviously there's going to be, a lot of NFL matches coming up in the next couple of days.
Today there are only college football games. There are a couple of games which I look at them, and probably should send my clients some picks later today. And for the NFL, tomorrow is the first week of the season where teams have a regular bye week. So not all teams in the NFL will play tomorrow, and 6 of them are actually having a bye week. So we will have with 3 fewer games on the board to choose. But beside this over on the Dallas Cowboys New Orleans Saints game, I already have one other pick which I will release later today or early tomorrow, and maybe one other game which I'm currently looking at it, waiting some more information.
Are you going to give us a hint on that one? Which game is it, or are you just going to keep that one to yourself?
The one I like, or the one I already set on it?
No, the one you like. Let's go for the one you like. Let's try and keep some mystery in there.
The one I like is the Monday night football game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots.
Okay, against the Pats.
It's a Monday night game, and like I told you, I want to hear some more news about the active and inactive players for that game and injuries who might have gone this weekend, because they are still training for that game, and there is nothing set.
Excellent. All right. So I think everybody's had a good listen now. We are going to be putting this tip, the one I can see on the screen right now, Dallas Cowboys against New Orleans Saints. We're going to be putting that on the Facebook page, and I think we'll be putting it on Twitter as well. We have actually just had a question come in. The timing is perfect. It says, can I ask if he prefers to release tips early or later? In the NFL, he bets earlier in the week than baseball. Are odds better, or is it simply lineup information is released sooner?
To answer you, both NFL or Major League Baseball, or just NFL for this question?
Do you prefer to release your tips early, or let's go with that one? Let's start off with that. Do you prefer to release your tips early, or do you prefer to release your tips later?
Later, because in both baseball and NFL, a lot of things can change with the absence of one or two players.
Yeah.
You know, the NFL, the games are released lines as soon as the last week is finished. So you can have the line for the Sunday games probably Tuesday morning. They are available. I like to release picks early in the week, just like I did now with the Dallas Cowboys, New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Just when I am absolutely sure that nothing can occur to for this game. For example, the important thing is for both quarterbacks for New Orleans Saints and Dallas Cowboys to play.
Yeah.
Tony Romo and Drew Brees. None of them is injured. None of them is having a problem, and they should both play without any problems. The other players on the both teams, as long as they play, this it should be fine. So I feel confident to release my pick earlier about Thursday for this game because I told you this was the only thing who can change my mind for this game, and it's likely not going to happen.
Okay.
For the other games, you know, the NFL is a tough sport, and every week there are players who are injuring themselves.
Oh yeah.
Lots of things like that, and you only know Sunday morning with a couple of hours before the game if a player will play or not play. And I always like to be sure that I don't know. Give an example. I will choose a game for this week.
Yeah.
Let's say about I don't know Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers. I want to know if the players are lined up to play this game. The wide receivers. For example, Chicago Bears are dealing with injuries to their two wide receivers. And usually with a few couple of hours before the game, you will know if they will not play, because the media sees that if they are trained in the last couple of days and the last couple of hours, and can tell you if they will or not play. And most of the times it can make a big impact of the outcome of one game, which is closer. This thing like that, and this is why I like to give my plays when I know pretty much all about a game. I never like to give a pick and don't know what is happening.
Yeah.
I like to know who is playing, who is not in play, and be sure my clients have the best information available and the best chances to win their picks. This is why I release my picks sometimes later than today. And this is the case or also in the Major League Baseball. You know, the pitcher are announced with a day earlier, and from this point, it's not problem. But the lineups for the game are announced or like with a couple of hours before the game. This is here in Europe usually evening time or night time.
Yeah.
And, I always pretty much like to see who is going to play if I'm not sure, and if like in NFL dealing with an injury, a player is dealing with a personal or family matter and could miss a game. I always like to know if he's going to play, if he's not going to play, because a single player can make sometimes some big impact.
Yeah, one player can make a massive difference. It certainly is important. Yeah. I mean, obviously you go from baseball, which is pretty much a one-on-one kind of sport, pitcher against batter, and then you go to the NFL, which is completely different because you've got two teams and so many moving parts. I mean, I was talking about this with Mike McLean just yesterday, and there are so many moving parts. It takes a bit of a shift, and I'm always impressed by how well you do, because you manage to shift between those two quite easily. If we look at your recent results, if you look at your baseball, we've seen an uptake. NFL, it's still early in the season, but you know, we've seen some good results from you recently. So, you know, I think we're looking forward to a good season with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. In terms of liquidity, I mean, obviously we know that the liquidity in the American market is absolutely massive. I mean, NBA, NFL, the MLB, they're all huge markets for betting. But in terms of the actual early lines, what's the liquidity like there?
I think it's not. The early lines are released after Tuesday, and you can bet the same amount of money on those games. I think for this week you can bet. Let me check for on Pinnacles for up to 40,000 euros.
That'll do.
No, dollars on one game.
Well, it's still enough, even though it's dollars. We won't hold it against them.
Yeah, this is on the handicap lines, and on the money lines and the total points, you can bet up to $14,000.
Okay.
For one game.
So that's for the early lines, and then that gets even higher as the game gets closer to the kickoff.
That depends. That depends of. Usually it sticks with that, but it will depend. It could be higher than with a couple of hours before the game.
Okay. So obviously, I mean, as you get closer to the game, like a lot of betting, when you get closer to the game, the liquidity goes up in the market. Is that right?
Yeah, the lines usually during the week, the lines are that don't move. But as soon as Sunday morning in USA, this is Sunday afternoon here in Europe, the lines will only going to be great and go from there to then, and because there are a lot of activity and betting in USA.
Mm-hmm.
They like to bet Sunday morning. Then is the biggest flow of betting. Then.
Okay, well that's cool. I mean, that's obviously getting your information out, getting it at the right time, sending it with the right bets, the right odds. Those are all the things that you have to look for as a professional tipster, right?
Yeah, I'm looking the odds. I'm looking players, games, many things which will influence making a decision.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of your own personal betting, I mean, you've got baseball, obviously, which you bet on. You've got the NFL and the NCAA, which you place your bets on as well. Are there any other sports that you follow personally? I mean, obviously not as a tipster, but as for your own personal betting. Is there anything else you follow?
Yeah, I follow, but not usually. Not. I like to finish with baseball. When I finish baseball, it will be probably the end of October.
Yeah.
I'm betting also the NHL professional hockey in US, but not as professional tipsters. Because I enjoy in the off season of baseball, which is from October to March. Beside American football, who is going to play only in the weekends, Sunday and Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy sometimes watching the NHL because it's every day, and I know some kind of information about the game, but not as a professional level like the NFL. But I still like from time when I see a game which I like and favorable occasion, opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
place amounts of money, but not same which I am usually betting with my Major League Baseball and NFL plays.
Okay.
Lower amounts of money.
And are there any other sports that you follow? I mean, do you follow any tipsters yourself outside of baseball, NFL? No. Information overload, is that it?
Yeah, it will be too much. I am that kind of guy and tipster which I like to work for a number of hours daily, and really to follow another sport, follow another tipster will be too much for me.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. Yeah.
A couple of hours studying the games, couple of hours watching the games, and then on top of that, and follow another sport will be too much.
It's just not enough hours in a day, right?
Prefer to concentrate on my sport and my games and do the best job I can.
Well, I'm sure your clients will be very happy to hear that. We have another question from Paul Bradbury. He says, I know from earlier chats that you watch a lot of sport. How many hours per day on average do you spend watching sports?
Depends. For example, during the weekend, this is Saturday and Sunday, I am watching both the NFL and Major League Baseball. For example, Sunday, I am watching games for 7 o'clock Central European time, up to the morning. Well, the last NFL game is going to finish. And the same thing is in Saturday when I watch both the Major League Baseball and NCAA football games, like I said earlier, until the last game is going to finish. During the week, I'm watching only Major League Baseball games. When they are during the day, evening here in Europe, I watch those. And when they are during the night games.
When do you sleep? By the sound of it, it's almost 24 hours.
Probably to make, I don't know, few hours a day. I sleep for 4 or 5 in the morning to until 10, 9, 10, something like that.
Oh, I couldn't do that. I need a good 8 hours, me, I have to say. I need a good 8 hours of sleep and I'll wake up feeling fresh. If I less than that, I'm grumpy.
Sometimes I catch an hour or two of sleep during the afternoon to recover.
Okay.
I get used to this program. And
you're a catnapper. You're one of these guys who just put your head down and go to sleep. You're a lucky man. I see. So you've recently broken the 6,000 unit barrier. I see on our screen. That's pretty good going, isn't it?
Actually, that barrier I broken it earlier this season with baseball, but had a very tough month in the first. Really nothing went our way and lost a very big number of unlucky picks, and it was horrible. But managed to get back this month and.
I mean, I'm looking at the screen now, and it looks like you're right on the cusp of breaking the 6,000 if you haven't already done it. So, congratulations for that. I mean, that's good going.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay, so let's. I think we need to save some stuff for future ones, because otherwise we could go on all day. I honestly think we could chat all day long, and everything we'd have a pretty interesting conversation. So I think we need to hold some stuff for future chats. Is that okay?
Yeah, perfect. It will be nice when you introduce the games to make a talk about those games.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have a free tip there also, and yeah, like you said, save some stuff for the season, because it's gonna be a long season in American football, and we have plenty of time to talk about that again also.
Okay, so if there's anyone who's actually watching on the Google Hangout, we are running a Google Hangout at the moment, and you haven't managed to take down all the details of this tip, it is actually going to be given away on the Facebook page. So make sure you like our Facebook page, make sure you like the post, make sure you like our YouTube page, because there's Hangouts, Google Plus webinars and things like that. All the things that we're doing, it will all be going up pretty much on all of our social media sites. So follow those. If you're listening on a podcast, if you're listening in, then make sure you subscribe to the podcast, because that's important, and then you'll get our podcast straight into your box every single week. Thank you very much, Florin, and I hope to speak to you very, very soon.
Anytime.
All right.
Bye. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
And thank you, everybody, for listening to the webinar, the podcast, and or watching the video if that's what you're doing. And I hope to speak to you again soon. Keep your eyes open for future webinars, and see you later.